Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Agentized. Actually, this is kind of the episode zero, Jas, right? Because we're gonna
Yeah, it's a
go
pre-episode.
pre-episode. So many things have been happening with AI agents, and just what we've been hearing. We've seen this week the big ad campaign around the Bay Area about replacing humans and this and that. So we wanted to start this show and this community to really make sure that our community is staying on top of agents, leveraging them, automating workflows. Right, Jas? I mean, you're a long-term software industry veteran. So what are your thoughts about how did we get here today?
Well, I think agents are the next big phase for integrating artificial intelligence into our daily life. Everything we have seen over the last 13, 14 years has been leading up to a world where agents are going to become prolific. We will end up having billions of agents. Eventually, we could even have a digital analog of each of us who works with us, collaborates with us, helps us, both in transforming our work and amplifying our life. So we got here on the shoulders of giants, right? On all the work that has been done over the last 60 years. So it's going to be tremendous change, and hopefully it will be positive change.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, for some of my friends that aren't in the tech industry and are in different verticals and as AI as AI has been around since the 80s, right? It was the big industry of the decade and the 90s. Once they released OpenAI and it was kind of let everybody use the power of this, we've seen a big shift. And it's almost like I'm kind of thinking back to where, content was king again. It is kind of that business experience and whatever vertical is king again, because then you could just use these AI agents to create and automate your workflows and improve your systems, right?
That's correct. If you think about an AI agent, in its simplest form, it's a digital worker. It's a computer program that can observe its surroundings, learn from them, take input from humans or other systems or agents, make decisions to achieve goals, and then learn from its mistakes and successes.
Right. And now you have the data where you can really look at the numbers and just see how you can improve things, right? What has been what's been some of what have you seen so far, right? I've seen these different sites where they almost have these cartoon type characters that'll be your agent and act in different roles for your workflow and as your employees, right? Some of it's just using AI to code your site. And maybe that's not as agentized yet, but I think it'll definitely get there. What have you seen and what companies should we be looking at?
Well, I think there are many different types of agents, that are coming into existence. It's only limited based upon our imagination. If you think about agentic AI, it's going to be truly an unprecedented transformation that's going to really transform both work and life. A simple chatbot could be classified as a type of agent, that it's AI program that can take input in the form of questions from your customer or from you and respond to you. So that's almost like a personal agent that can do a very constrained set of things. There are more complex agents out there, that can do a lot more. And there are agents that can do routing of supply chain routes, right? There are agents that can essentially orchestrate other agents that can manage and oversee other agents that are doing specific things. Imagine a simple task like a research project. You can have a supervising agent, and that supervising agent can have a series of different agents that can go do the research. Another agent can synthesize all the research that's been collected by the research agent. Another agent could produce a report. I think it's only limited by our imagination.
Without a doubt. And I mean, is it as significant, right? A lot of times we see these I don't know, see new things in tech and is it a new acronym that they're just trying to get out there? Is it the same old thing, right? I think just if I look back at really the software industry, right? I just posted that object-oriented programming video that Philippe had done in 92, and then we went to the web, and kind of fast forwarding through the enterprise and cloud, and then we had low code, no code, and companies like Automation Anywhere were kind of applying these things to the enterprise. Then AI comes out and we can do all these amazing things. I was just sharing with you how I was able to convert, an image into a JPEG and just do all sorts of amazing things. Now, using agents to just automate ourselves, like it just seems like such a wide range of things we could maybe throw in that bucket. And where do you see some of the like Make.com is one I saw that's pretty amazing, right? I think we
Hmm.
used to use Zapier,
Makes doing great work, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then I think the company in New York, is it a Vellum,
Vellum is headquartered out in New York, and they're doing a lot of work in terms of AI infrastructure, real-time, prompt engineering, as well as now AI agents.
right? So
And
then,
there are quite a few companies that are out there that are doing some amazing work. The leaders really are, if you look at Microsoft and Microsoft Copilot, that's kind of where they started. If you think about what Satya Nadella said about the three capabilities needed for AI agents, it's a multimodal interface, meaning that the AI can take input and observe the world, not just in text but also in audio and video. It needs to have the ability to reason and plan, and then it has to have the ability to have long-term memory and use tools. All of these foundational capabilities are getting better and better at an exponential rate, and that's right from Satya Nadella. So, as these core capabilities improve, AI agents are going to become more and more sophisticated, and they'll be able to do more and more things in many, many different industries. So I go back to what I had said earlier. It can be AI agents will have a truly far-reaching and transformative impact upon human civilization. We started with simple things like ChatGPT, and in 2025 we are going to see all kinds of amazing things. But for example, a simple personal agent could be, someone who can go book an appointment at the DMV for you. Okay, it can take a look at the options that DMV has given you. It can come back and say, "Hey, David, I know you wanted to have an appointment with the DMV on Thursday, but they're only available on Friday and Monday. Which one should I book?" So imagine time savings there. That's a very simple example of an personalized agent at work. Okay. There are coding agents, which are far more sophisticated. Coding agents, essentially, GitHub Copilot was one of the early incarnations of that, though they're now much more sophisticated. As an engineer is writing code, the agent is observing, or the AI is observing the code and inserting suggestions on how to improve the code or complete specific functions. That's also agentic behavior, right? And Now we have full application development companies like Devin and Lovable, which basically give you an agent that can build a whole application for you. Uh, so the word AI, AI is kind of the underpinnings of every agentic system. AI and AI agents are being used somewhat interchangeably, though I think the definition will become much sharper in 2025.
Right. And so that said, right, I see this going so many ways, which is why I'm glad we'll be kicking off a weekly show, both to hear from people on what they need, what clarity they need, because there's just so many questions. One is, who are the companies? It's hard now, especially over this last week or two. We have OpenAI doing the 12 days of new features, and we have Gemini 2 that just came out, and Willow, right? That's down near you, Jas. We have to speak about Willow. But all these things coming out, we can't possibly keep an eye on everything. We want to automate our workflows, right? Because a lot of talk about, if the AIs are going to take jobs, right? But I think it's, the humans' jobs are going to shift, and they have to really agentize themselves and understand how it's done, so when they move into a new job, they're gonna be able to come in as a AI powered person, right? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think you're making a really important point there. Uh, Human beings in the positive outcome will become augmented with digital companions. Okay, now these digital companions will be able to do a variety of things, whether it's at work, whether it's in your personal life. Uh, in my conversations with a number of senior executives up in Silicon Valley, specifically in companies that are building large software platforms for different applications, ranging from security to companies like ServiceNow. They have mandates from their leadership to identify specific processes that could essentially benefit from agentization. Agentization is the integration of AI agents to do work that human beings were doing earlier. There's both pluses and minuses here. In some processes, agents will essentially will and may replace 80% of the human workers. You're already seeing that in the software industry in areas of quality assurance and testing. Uh, in other processes, business processes, agents may only replace 20%, and then there'll be another type of process where it'll always be 100% human. How businesses, CEOs, and leadership teams uh, embrace and integrate agents is going to be really critical in terms of maintaining the morale of their workforces who are going to see their jobs change dramatically. And how do these professional individuals have meaning, from a work standpoint? These are all really big questions that any organizational leader who is thinking of implementing agents, needs to consider. I hope I answered your
Right. No,
question.
that's good. Look, and I'm just all these thoughts are going through my mind as you're speaking. And I went to AAA yesterday, speaking of the DMV, to get my pay my registration. That's a woman at the counter, very bright young lady. Oh, have you been learning AI? Have they been teaching you it here? As somebody that's customer facing, looked at me like I was crazy. Never heard of AI, which is fine. I think it's a lost opportunity for companies, right? And just
Okay.
how do they roll it out? And look, and I think too, you and I work within tech. I moved up to a less tech area than from LA where I was a few years ago. Santa Barbara, I'd say, is very tech savvy, but
Mhm.
but um we're just right at the start of it, right? So there's this whole world of industries, and we one thing I was talking to Brad Parks, who's owner of the Hollywood Film Festival, about is, as we build out that community, what do we do to help support the people that are in the entertainment industry that are affected by AI? Are all the jobs going to be wiped out? No. Will there be less? Probably. Are there new opportunities? Definitely. But how can we upskill that community and help, right? And just empower communities. I think that's why I was so excited, Jess, to get a weekly session on the board so people can write in and learn, and we can help companies just get there to empower their people, right? Or we're humans, the longevity movement is happening. I don't know how long we'll all live, but we can go wide if we're getting, if we're using these tools, right?
Right. Excellent points, David. If you look at what Mark Benninghoff, who's the chairman and CEO of Salesforce, has said, he's of the opinion that there'll be billions of agents out there, and we'll achieve an age of abundance. That's certainly one viewpoint. If business leaders and political leaders manage this transition correctly, we will have a world of abundance. If it's managed incorrectly, then it could become a really dystopian future. I'm hoping that we end up in a world of abundance, because if people are going to live longer, we're going to need more resources for them. And I think it's heading in the right direction, but there are so many major influencers out there who are actually steering the ship, right? And hopefully, they're going to be looking at maximizing the greatest good for the greatest number of people, on the planet. I believe this community, and hopefully our working sessions and our conversations, will be able to take questions in from people, specifically on the business side, who are interested in understanding this wave of change that's coming. We don't want to end up in something similar to, I call it agent shock. There was a book by Alvin Toffler called Future Shock, which talks about the impact of technological change. And this was in the early 90s. We want to avoid agent shock. So, uh, getting a lot more people contributing to the conversation, answering questions, helping companies and people get ready for this uh, imminent launch and scale of agentic workforces, I think could be really helpful.
Thank you, Jess. One last question before we go. When I think about some of these industries that where I'm just thinking people that have the expertise may not be too tech driven or tech savvy. I'm sure they use a lot of the tools that many of us take for granted now. Where do they start? So many conversations I've had with people that have maybe dipped their toe in AI, or they hear in the news it's going to end the world or this or that, or maybe even their company has Microsoft and they use Copilot. And then so they're still, I feel, thinking narrowly, not necessarily seeing the bigger possibilities. Where would somebody start with this?
With understanding what agents are,
Well,
basically, or
just
AI.
understanding how they're going to use AI, right? Let's, as an example, they work in the CPG and consumer products, right? They know AI is coming. They're an expert in their area. They know how to keep the shelves stacked, everything. They haven't been using AI much. They know they better get up to speed, but it seems overwhelming with these hundreds, if not thousands, of tools coming out each month. Any recommendations? Or do they
I
have to
think
go to future episodes to find out? No, go ahead.
I think, David, what we can do is we can create a series of links, but I think where do they start? I think self-education, continuous learning is going to be really, really important. I would recommend people just start using ChatGPT on the computer. It's available for free. And someone who hasn't used AI should just start experimenting with using OpenAI's chatbot or Google's Gemini 2.0 or Claude. Across a variety of topics and subjects. And that's a really good way of dipping your toe in the water. I think as a next step, David, you and I can also put links to some. There are great courses available on Coursera and a number of these other online learning platforms that are very. Some of them are even free that help for individuals learn about AI and get comfortable with what is AI, where it is today, how can they benefit from it, and where it's going in the future. I think we can provide a lot of those links as a follow-up.
Yeah, and not just that. I think it's the community here where we can take people anywhere from personal coaching to using it in our think tanks we have every week, right? I think there's one thing to, and I was speaking to somebody about this yesterday. I forgot who, but using it to solving a problem and just getting used to it is much better than watching a Coursera video that may have you sleeping.
Uh, uh,
It might not be,
uh, I think that's a valid point. Uh, there's no substitute for doing in terms of learning how to use it. So I think the point that you're making, take a use case or take a specific task, and I think video would be a great potential forum for taking tasks. Hey, today we're going to teach you how to do online research using AI agents, or we're going to teach you how to create a better video using AI agents, and then actually working with the attendees of the particular session as they do it in a more hands-on manner, I think would be very valuable. So great suggestion.
we will do it. Okay. With that, everybody, agentized. You'll see it out there. We'll keep posting to this channel. Um, comment on the channel. Let us know what you're looking for, where you might be stuck, and then we'll have our agents to take you powerfully into 2025. Jas, have a great holiday. We'll get it on the calendar. We'll be at CES the first week, but maybe we'll do a live from CES agentized, and that'll be a great way to kick off the new year.
Thank you, David. I look forward to it.